In today's episode, Ian asks, fact or fiction, using third-party schedulers for social media posts get a kick in the shins as they haven't come from the native platform tools? This is a good question because it highlights some of the issues that we have in marketing with analytics and statistics. Specifically, some companies have done some testing on this. Agorapulse has done some testing. Buffer has done some testing. A few other social media posting tools have done some testing. And obviously, one of the challenges there, well, there's several challenges. One is there's an inherent conflict of interest if a third-party company is testing to see if third-party companies are penalized. But that's not reason enough to disqualify their efforts, because as long as it's done in a statistically valid way and methodologies are disclosed and data is made available, then it's totally fine, right? It's the same with any kind of academic research. You disclose your funding, you disclose your conflicts of interest, if any, so that people know that the study may or may not be as neutral as it could be. Here's the issue with the testing that's been done. It's not that it's been by third parties. It's that it's not been done in a statistically rigorous way, not rigorous enough. And the reason for this is that a lot of the data that's out there it's not well structured. So there's two ways that you can statistically test for something like this. One is to run true A/B tests, where you're running the same content, one from one tool, one from whatever the control is, and it has to be the same content, or has to be very similar to the content, so that a post that contains cats and people hit like on cats does well, and it shouldn't matter which method you've posted by. So you have to post one with cats in your treatment group and one with cats in your control group. That tends not to be the case when a lot of testing goes on, and understandably so, because if you're doing that, you're essentially double posting your content, and it gets tricky. It gets tricky to manage that. The second methodology that you can use is a stats technique called propensity score matching, where you take a whole bunch of data and you group it, you cluster it, and then you try to find data that is similar in each of the groups. It's kind of like building an A/B test retroactively. The challenge there is you need a lot of data. You need thousands of data points so that you can match control groups, create essentially a control group and a treatment group of similarly performing content, so that you can see if the variance is because of the treatment or not, in this case using a third-party tool. So how would you go about doing this? Well, again, if you're going the A/B route, you create a bunch of social content. Half of it, you basically duplicate it. You make a copy of everything, right? And then you put one copy in your native platform and one copy in your scheduler. And after a while, you run the numbers and you see which content performed better, accepting the fact that you're going to have double posted content. The second method is using, again, the data that you get out of your systems. You will need to tag, if the social platforms and their analytics don't give it to you, you'll need to tag which was third-party scheduler and which was native, and then run a propensity score match. So let's take a look at what this looks like here. So this is Twitter. Twitter very kindly provides whether a post was, well, what tool a post was from, which is super, super handy. And so if I look in my data frame here, let's go ahead and take a look at our sources. We have 18 different possible sources. We have a whole bunch of individuals, and then we have the Twitter family of official clients, and then some more individuals there. So what I've done is I've extracted the last 3,200 tweets from my account, removing retweets, because retweets, we're trying to test stuff that is native, and then assigning if it was used, if Twitter, the native platform, was the source. I want to go with, in this case, I'm going to make that the treatment. Doesn't really matter. We just assign the groups. And then if it was a third-party tool may get a 0. You know what? It makes more sense to logically do this. Let's back this up. So treatment is going to be using the third-party tool. Let's go ahead and run our matching test. Okay, and we have, as a result, the treated group, meaning a third-party tool, on measures of favorites, retweets, and engagement. When we look at the mean difference, third-party content for my account on Twitter does slightly better than the stuff from the native platform. Now, again, this is really important. This is my account, so you can't generalize this to anybody else. You should do this on your own account. This is for Twitter only, so you'd want to perform similar tests with similar data on the social platforms you care about: Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, whatever. But this is the methodology for how you do this. You can either retroactively do it with a propensity score match, or you can do a true A/B test. Let's take a look at one more. Let's do, I know it's in the data set, so let's test this. That one did not work because I need to switch this to nearest. There we go. So in this case, for this account, similar. The treatment, slightly better. So, is there a difference in third-party tools? Yes. And actually, in this case, in a couple of tests here, we've seen that it's a slight improvement. Should you generalize this to your social media strategy? No. No, I would test this with your own data. Make sure that this idea applies to you specifically, because that's what you care about. You don't really care about my account. You care about your account. So you'd want to run this similar type of testing for you. That said, based on the less statistically rigorous tests we've seen, based on doing something with a bit more rigor, so far, I haven't seen any strong evidence that third-party tools cause harm. Right? If anything, scheduled content, at least in my tests, performs slightly better. So, does that mean that you should change your strategy? No. Run the test for yourself first. Get the answer for yourself first, and then build your strategy on that. And if you don't have the capacity to do this, then I would say, frankly, it doesn't hurt to use third-party tools so far. Again, the various tests that have been out there have kind of proven, just one degree or another, there's not substantial harm. There's certainly nothing that makes you go, "Oh wow, that's terrible. Like let's stop using these immediately." It's not the case. And again, you have to test this for each platform you're on, because each platform has different algorithms. So, if you have follow-up questions, leave them in the comments box below. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and the newsletter. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Want help solving your company's data, analytics, and digital marketing problems? Visit trustinsights.ai today and let us know how we can help you.